Welcome on back to another gem editor tutorial video. This one's going to be covering the camera, some of the techniques going along with that in the gem editor. As always, if you're not playing specifically in Call to Arms, maybe you're using the newer Gates to Hell or an older Men of War title, one of the assault squads, this will work practically the exact same. So to get started, we're just going to place a couple units down. I'll try not to use any modded units. Your menu may not look exactly the same, but if you've watched some of my other videos, then you should be able to follow along just nicely. Alright, so don't really care what's going on here. Just going to use some units for my scene. Cool. So what we want to do is, first, you're going to make sure you're in the F3 mode. Then we're going to go down to where this camera is. You're going to right click here. You're going to name what this scene, pretty much, I guess more so, what the scene is going to be called. So we'll just do something like intro. Okay. Now, you're going to want to find the starting spot of your camera. Now, I'm just going to move this a little bit. This doesn't really necessarily have to do with using the camera per se, like the cutscene part of things. But if you come up to this eye, you can edit your camera zoom here. Maybe change the FOV way out or way in, whatever you want. I'm just going to set mine kind of to what I believe is the normal-ish looking. Maybe it is this one. Good enough. Okay, so back to this. You're going to want to go where your starting keyframe is going to be. This is going to be where the first spot that the camera starts at. So I'm going to go for something a little out here. I'm going to click on intro, and then once you have that spot, you're going to want to come down to keyframes, right click here, and that'll be the first spot. And you'll see I'll draw this line. This is going to be where your camera's starting, and that point is going to be exactly where it's looking. So if you want to see, go back to reference where this spot was, you can double click on that keyframe, and it'll take you exactly to where it's going to be looking at. Okay? Now we're going to want to go to where our camera is going to move next. And so we just want it to get progressively closer. Maybe it'll zoom in a little bit. And then let's just have it angle up as it zooms around. It doesn't really matter where you're putting this. As you can see, there's going to be this yellow line here. This is going to be the pathing line. The pathing line is pretty much just going to be the line that the camera is going to be following as it goes through. Now, once we've got this, if you see you've got this preview button, we can click preview. It'll give us a quick idea of what this is all going to look like. Nice. Now, let's say we want to adjust the speed of how this camera is going to be flowing. You want it to be longer, shorter, for certain parts, doesn't matter. If you look here back at your keyframes, you're going to see these numbers. You got 0 seconds through 5 seconds. This is going to be pretty much as soon as your camera starts. This is saying at 0 seconds, your camera will be here, at 1 second, it'll get to that point, and so forth. So if we want it to take, let's say we want it to have a longer, drawn out portion at the start, then we're going to want to expand this time. So instead of taking 1 second to get from camera 1 to camera 2, it takes 4 seconds or 3 seconds or whatever you want. So you're always going to want to leave 0 at 0 because that's where it's starting. And then you want to hit the 3 dots here and go to time. This is really the only one you're going to want to change. You can mess with some of these, but they're not really that important unless you're doing something extremely specific. So we're just going to change this, let's say 3 seconds. And then you're going to want to change some of these other ones maybe. I'm just doing it in increments of 3 so it's steady the whole time. And 15. There you go. Go back to preview, and as you can see, it's much slower now. So obviously you can do the reverse of that and speed it up. You also don't have to make this the same interval. Maybe you want it to go slow at the start and speed up once it gets close to these troops. Obviously you can mess around with the time as need be. But that's loosely what our camera is going to look like. So assuming we're happy with that, let's now set it up in a trigger. We want to come here to triggers, right click, insert, name it whatever you want. We're going to go camera. I think I have caps locks on. There we go. Camera. Come down here to commands, hit add. Now, once you go to scene, you're going to want to come down here to the scenario. Click scenario. Camera here, you want the name of that camera or scene. We named ours intro. Perfect. None of these really matter too much. Honestly, I wouldn't focus on them, at least for just the learning. And pretty much this just means, our scenario is going to start. It's going to call this camera. And then the smooth end, smooth begin, you can mess with those if you want. But like I said, not that big of a deal. And that is pretty much it for just the camera. Now I am going to add some text just to make this video a little more interesting. So if you want some of these units to talk, maybe you're trying to set up some exposition of some sort. So I'm going to give whoever's going to be talking a tag. Name this man Talk. Why not? This is our friend Talk. So I'm going to use the same trigger. It doesn't really matter for yours. We can come down to scene. We can then go to, nope, it's going to be actor and then talk. Selector, we're going to give the tag of the person who is talking. We just named him Talk. Come down to the text he's going to say. You can hit add. You may or may not have these right here. And you can add whatever you want. I'm going to do intro text. Cool. And now you can put that text there. Let's just do, I don't know. Let's go get 'em, boys. Cool. Enter, click save. That's about it. Now I'm going to put a little bit of a delay just so, you know, he's not saying it right away. Don't have to. But if we did this all in all, we can hit start. And look at that. Camera's going to go. And in a few seconds, there you go. There is your text. Obviously, you can change this as need be. If you saw at the beginning when I hit start, the camera kind of like smoothly but quick jump to the starting position. If you untick those smooth begin, smooth end boxes, that'll actually change. Like it'll get rid of that smooth feature that you just saw there. So that's what that'll do. But that's the basics to cameras. If you got any questions, feel free to ask them below. And if not, I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you in the next one.